In the headlines, troops foil attack on military formation, kill bandits in Zamfara. Court grants suspended CBN governor bail, whisked away by security operatives 6 hours later. Court dismisses ASU suit, validates Konwa NAMDA as trade unions. And on the foreign scene, U.S. sanctions Mali defense minister, officials over Wagner ties. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. And we begin with security, where troops of Operation Hadarindaji on Monday night foiled an attack by bandits on a military formation. The troops also neutralized no fewer than 7 bandits during the encounter in the Congo Sabwell area of Gusau local government area of Zamfara state. Troops of Sector 1, Operation Hadarindaji, in conjunction with troops deployed at Forward Operating Base Wenke in the government area, carried out the ambush operation along the route suspected to be used by bandits. Reports say the troops successfully neutralized no fewer than 7 bandits, while several others fled with gunshot wounds. The troops proceeded in pursuit of other fleeing bandits, recovered 1 machine gun, ammunition, and 6 motorcycles. Meanwhile, the commander of the Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Hadarindaji, Major General Godwin Mutkut, commended the troops for their bravery and resilience in dealing with the bandits. The Borno State Police Command has arrested 10 suspects for killing a constable attached to patrol team in Konduga local government area. The suspects were among 78 suspects paraded by command for various offences. Beatrice Kuruti has more.
The recent arrests of suspects were made in the space of 2 months after a number of patrol raids to prevent crime and criminality in Maiduguri metropolis. The joint raids were carried out in 14 areas within the capital city, and 78 suspects were arrested for crimes and offences ranging from culpable homicide, theft, phone snatching, impersonation, and drug peddling.
We sincerely apologize for that video. Now, the Adamawa State Police Command has arrested 3 suspects for allegedly gang raping a 15-year-old girl in Mayo Belwa local government area of the state. The command spokesperson, SP Suleiman Nguroje, disclosed this in a statement in Yola on Tuesday. According to Nguroje, the suspects are Uzairu Amfalani, 25 years, Hassan Nasser, 25 years, and Yahya Edward, 26 years of age. He said the suspects abducted the girl on July 20 when she boarded a tricycle from Mayo Belwa to Nguroje. According to him, the State Commissioner of Police in Afolabi Babatola has ordered a thorough investigation into the incident with a view to prosecuting the perpetrators. Still on security, the Osun State Police Command has recovered 2 stolen cars from armed robbers and arrested 2 suspects. The cars were recovered by the police anti-kidnapping squad in the state through diligent investigation. Hamid Oyegbade files the report.
The armed robbers snatched the car at gunpoint in Ede and also carted other valuables away. Residents of the area reported the incident to the police, and the Commissioner of Police in the state, Kehinde Longe, deployed the anti-kidnapping squad to effect the arrest of the suspects.
As I was about entering my house at exactly 7:30 in the evening, so armed robbers ambushed me. Then they collected the cart away with our 2 vehicles, other valuables, and as soon as they left, we were able to inform the nearest police station, and the case was referred to the police headquarters here.
when he brought the motor, I was not around. He gave it to one of my brother. So they registered it, and the motor was given to my brother. My brother was using it. So when police tracked the motor, that was when we know that it was a stolen vehicle. Initially, I didn't know.
I bought a Toyota Corolla 2011 model, and it was a stolen car.
The commander of the anti-kidnapping squad, Moses Lohor, said his team has decimated the kidnappers operating in the state and assured residents of safety of their lives and properties.
You recall that the other time we arrested some suspects in Oyo State and we were able to charge them to court. We arrested a couple of suspects in Iwo, who have been charged to court. We had an engagement with some kidnappers along Ikirun Road, which led to the death of one of the kidnappers. And since then, the consistent kidnapping that has been taking place along Ikirun Road has become a thing of the past. And even the other two, about a month ago, this command was able to recover about 12 vehicles that have been stolen by armed robbers through the anti-kidnapping section. And apart from that, we were able to arrest 36 suspects in connection to different cases of armed robbery and kidnapping that occurred within the last 2 months.
The Commissioner of Police in the state, Kehinde Longe, commended his men for their dedication to duty. He assured the people of the state of their safety and said that the suspect will face the full wrath of the law. Hamid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
Operatives of Department of State Service whisked away the suspended Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele after a federal high court in Lagos granted him bail. After an initial face-off between men of the DSS and NCOS, Emefiele was eventually intercepted by the DSS when he stepped out of the courtroom and was taken away in a police vehicle at about 3:15 p.m. It is not clear why the former CBN governor was taken away by the DSS. The court had adjourned the case until November 14th for trial and had ordered a remand of the defendant in the correctional service pending perfection of his bail. After the case was adjourned, Emefiele remained in the courtroom for several hours. When a senior officer of the Nigerian Correctional Service attempted to take the defendant into custody in line with the court's directive, which ordered his remand pending perfection of the bail, the DSS resisted the move. A federal high court in Kano has fixed September 22nd to deliver judgment in a fundamental human rights suit filed by the former governor of the state, Abdullahi Ganduje, to stop his arrest in investigations on alleged dollar bribery videos. Ganduje in the suit is seeking the order of the court to restrain the state's Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission and others from arresting, investigating, and inviting him over the alleged dollar video. At the resumed hearing on Tuesday, counsel to the applicant, Matthew Burka, SAN, in further affidavit in response of the respondents, said the fundamental right suit was to protect the rights of Ganduje and also sought to protect his family members and political appointees. However, counsel to the PCACC, Femi Falana, SAN, told the court that the applicant's immunity has expired on May 29. Counsel to Nigeria Police, Sunday Ekwe, and counsel to DSS, IB Bulus, aligned themselves with the position of the PCACC. Counsel to Attorney General of Kano, Khalifa Hashim, filed a 3-paragraph counter-affidavit dated July 19 and urged the court to dismiss the ex parte. After hearing all judgments, Justice A.M. Liman adjourned the matter until September 22nd for judgment. President of the National Industrial Court, Abuja, Justice Benedict Kanyip, has dismissed a suit filed by the Academic Staff Union of Universities challenging the registration of the Congress of University Academics and the Nigeria Association of Medical and Dental Academics as trade unions by the federal government. Delivering judgment on Tuesday, Justice Kanyip held that Section 27 of the Trade Union Act allows for more than one trade union in employment. He held that the section does not depict trade monopoly. The court held that the then Minister of Labour, Chris Ngige, and the Registrar of Trade Union had the right to register NAMDA and KONUA to coexist with ASU. The court further held that ASU did not present any evidence before it to show the complete registration of KONUA and NAMDA when it filed the suit. The court held that the evidence presented by ASU were hearsay evidence because the suit was filed on October 26, 2022, while KONUA and NAMDA registration had not yet been gazetted in line with Section 523 of the Trade Union Act. The Independent National Electoral Commission and stakeholders in Nigeria's electoral process have on Tuesday continued reviewing the conduct of 2023 elections. Trust TV's Shafi'u Suleiman reports that the stakeholders admitted problems encountered and agreed to collaborate in improving future elections with a view to strengthening the nation's democratic journey.
Setting the stage for the engagement, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu, who reviews the process and conduct of the 2023 elections, acknowledged contributions of both political parties and other stakeholders for the success of the exercise.
The robust engagement with IPAC, with the National Assembly, contributed to the fourth and fifth alterations to the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, and the enactment of the Electoral Act 2022. Working in partnership with us, political parties also supported the expansion of voter access to polling units and many innovations introduced by the Commission, including the online pre-registration of voters, nomination of candidates, and the accreditation of party agents.
While admitting that the electoral management body encountered challenges in the conduct of the polls, Yakubu believes that with collaboration and understanding of the critical stakeholders, the challenges are not insurmountable. Speaking on behalf of political parties in Nigeria, Chairman Interparty Advisory Council IPAC, Yabagi Sani, says there must be a collective resolve to improve and enhance the democratic space.
Two major opposition parties, the PDP and the Labour Party, as well as three other political parties, disagreed with the outcome of the elections and have since gone to the Presidential Election Petition Court to challenge the outcome of the election inconsistent with the norms and values of the electoral process. We commend them for following the path of law. However, we really hope that the decision of the court will not be based on some perverse public policy rationale or technicalities, but rather on reasoned and reasonable interpretation of substantive and procedural law. What Nigeria needs now is fairness, equity, and justice.
The meeting draws participants from the 18 political parties and the newly registered Youth Party, YP, whose registration was sanctioned by the Supreme Court recently. The election management body, civil society groups and other stakeholders also condemned the use of state machinery by incumbent office holders to muzzle opposition, especially ahead of off-season elections in Imo, Kogi and Bayelsa states, asking political actors to call their supporters to order. Shafi'u Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break, we take a look at how low enrollment of school pupils. Do stay with us.
Sounds like you're disappointed with the current lot.
We are outside, me and you. Regardless, we could have done better.
That you don't have to sacrifice your conviction. We cannot settle for what is bad.
I sacked a governor because of misappropriating 300,000 naira.
The clamor by the NCSC was a unitary form of government. This doesn't go well with Savannah. So when we said we wanted self-government for Nigeria and NTCs, so look, count me out.
What you call goal, aims and directives. But the issue of joining politics simply because you want to be given job or to be given contract.
Removing the assumptions, the foundations of their fears, and at the end of it, each and every one of them seems to surprised.
I was posted to Guachuku. My job was to go from community to community, educating the people how to improve themselves. Government will come to help you.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're still watching Trust News Update, a recap of our top stories. You heard that troops foil attack on military formation, kill bandits in Zamfara. You also heard that court grants suspended CBN governor bail whisked away by security operatives 6 hours after. Moving to more stories, Bauchi State Government has constituted a steering committee on flood to map out modalities and solutions to prevent flooding as predicted by Nigerian Meteorological Agency in 8 local government areas in the state. The Director General of Bauchi State Environmental Protection Agency, Ibrahim Kabir, who disclosed this in a chat with journalists in Bauchi, said the affected local governments predicted by NIMET were Bauchi, Alkaleri, Kirfi, Gamawa, Itas Gadau, Gyade, Jama'are, and Zaki. The DG explained that the committee comprised BASEPA, State Emergency Management Agency, and the Ministry of Works, Housing and Environment. Kabir revealed that the state government had since commenced a lot of sensitization and advocacy programs through radio and television with a view to educating and enlightening the people, especially those in flashpoints, on safety measures and prevention against this year's rains. Now in education, residents of Gumchiguni and Masuri communities of Alkaleri have attributed the low enrollment of children in basic schools to the lack of learning materials and poverty. They stated this during an assessment of out-of-school children in communities within Alkaleri local government area of Bauchi State. Trust TV's Adamu Imam sent in this report.
The United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF says despite the diverse importance of education, free and compulsory primary education, about 10.5 million of the country's children aged 5 and 14 years are not in school. They further say 61% of 6 to 11-year-olds regularly attend primary school, while only 35.6% of children aged 36 to 59 months receive early childhood education. According to them, in the northern part of the country, where the picture is even worse, with a net attendance rate of 53%, getting out-of-school children back into education poses a massive challenge. The out-of-school children are mainly girls aged 10 to 18 years who now resort to selling assorted items, especially to travelers on highways. Halima, 18 years, says she likes going to school, but her parents cannot afford to pay her school expenses. Residents in the community said sending children to schools is financially demanding on the family. Hence, they resort to sending them to the street to hawk in order to help provide for the family. Reacting to the development, Buba Umar Korijo of the State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, said from the assessment within the communities visited, there is improvement in the enrollment cycle of school children. Earlier reports from Bauchi Annual School Census Data 2023 shows that Alkaleri local government area has 81 enrollments of pupils and students into primary and secondary schools. Adami Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
On the international scene, the United States has imposed sanctions against Mali's defense minister and 2 military officials, accusing the trio of helping to facilitate the Russian mercenary group Wagner's rise in the West African nation. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken announced on Monday that the sanctions targeted Malian Defense Minister Colonel Sadio Camara, Air Force Chief of Staff Colonel Alou Boy Diarra, and Deputy Chief of Staff Lieutenant Colonel Adama Bagayoko. Blinken accused the trio of working to facilitate and expand Wagner's presence in Mali since December 2021, adding that civilian fatalities had surged by 278% since the Russian mercenaries deployed to the country. In a separate statement, U.S. Treasury Department official Brian Nelson also said the Malian officials had been instrumental in facilitating the Wagner's group's entrenchment in Mali over the past 2 years. And finally, in sports, the Confederation of African Football has announced that it will hold its 2023 awards on December 11. The continent's football body made this known in a statement released on Tuesday. In the statement, CAF said it will communicate the time and host city in due course. The awards will recognize the standout performers from club and country over the past year, with the highlight being the crowning of the CAF African Player of the Year in both the men and women's category. CAF disclosed that several more honors will also be at stake. They include the Interclub Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, National Team of the Year, Coach of the Year, Club of the Year, and Goal of the Year. Also, the Interclub Women's Player of the Year award, which was introduced last year after the successful launch of the CAF Women's Champions League, will continue this year. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.